rotating drafts at Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bun Shop and Bar, Wyoming Avenue in Exeter, Lindo. Sabatini's with us. Good morning.
What's happening?
What's up?
Nah, nothing.
Nothing.
Just hanging out.
He's distracted over there. He's got his new social media game going on.
Yeah.
Listen, I've made it this long without a Twitter account. I failed. This morning
He signed up?
I signed up.
He signed up just in time to watch the ship go down.
People keep sending me these things, and I try to open it, and it wants my account, and I have it, and I can't look. So, okay.
And now you're there.
The
Now
best
you're
part
there
is
to see it all.
I have a Twitter, but I'm not going to be a tweeter. Is that
Yeah,
That's the thing. You can be whoever you want now on Twitter. It's great.
It doesn't matter. Get a check mark. All right, let's get to Bill from mybeerbuzz.com. Hi, Bill.
Hey, happy Friday, and before we get going, a big thank you to all that served in the military on this Veterans Day. I think it's an important day to stop and remember.
Absolutely.
And Lindo, now you will see that every Friday after the show, I tweet out and I tag Sabatini's and I tag WILK with the video of our show. So now you get to see it.
I'll have to figure out how to do that.
I would say this: you're here for it, though.
Yeah. What?
Keep it for prosperity.
Posterity or prosperity?
What did I say?
A
Prosperity?
little of both.
I think I got the word wrong, but that's okay. It's the beer. I haven't drank it yet, but it's already gone to my head.
You'll have to send me your Twitter name so I know I can tag you as well.
Okay.
So we have a BeerBuzz today, and it's one that I had heard about, but I actually had two different people ask me about, and so I had to go do some beer research on it. And it's about the famed quantum mechanic physicist Niels Bohr. And rumor was that he was gifted a direct pipeline from the Carlsberg Brewery into his house. And that has gone on for decades that people have talked about this. Well, there's been some new research done recently, and as it turns out, they're saying that, yes, Carlsberg did loan him a home that was near the brewery, but that it was too far away to make it reasonable to have some sort of direct pipeline, that all the beer laying in that pipeline would be bad by the time that Niels Bohr served it up. But what they did do, and they admit this in their history, is they gave him as much beer as he wanted, because Carlsberg was into science and innovation, and they were one of the first to, in beer, yeah, and they were one of the first to isolate a new species of yeast that brewed pale lagers historically that no one else was doing. But apparently there was a snafu, and Niels Bohr said he wanted 12 bottles of beer, and they misinterpreted that and brought in 12 cases of beer every single day.
Someone's getting fired.
Until I guess eventually he corrected that. So that's our BeerBuzz of the day. I got a kick out of that one. I thought that one was funny.
Fun.
We have some beer news, and again, the beer news continues down this trend that Lindo and I have been talking about now for probably years, and that is the bubble bursting with craft, that we're losing some of the breweries. And today there are actually 4 stories. All of our stories today are all about the bursting sort of craft bubble a little bit. Athletic Brewing, a non-alcoholic brewing company, has been acquired by Keurig Dr. Pepper. And they're a beverage, I guess you call them a beverage company.
Yes.
Keurig is typically about coffee and iced tea, and Dr. Pepper certainly is in the soft drink industry. So they have acquired Athletic Brewing, the non-alcoholic brewing company. Epic Brewing has a big facility in downtown Denver. Will no longer be having that big facility in downtown Denver. They've announced that facility will close, and they'll go back to their sort of Salt Lake City roots. Montauk Brewing out in Long Island, New York, has been acquired by Tilray Brands. And if you're not familiar with Tilray currently owns Sweetwater and Green Flash and Alpine Brewing. Sweetwater's in Georgia, Alpine and Green Flash are out on the West Coast in California. So that's a big one that's joining more sort of craft breweries, but it's not a craft parent. And our final one, and this is one, we had, Lindo and I had connections because of some of the events that we did with this brewery. Melvin Brewing has been acquired by Roadhouse Brewing. And if you're not familiar with Roadhouse Brewing, they are a slightly larger brewery out of Jackson, Wyoming. And Jackson, beautiful town. I've actually visited Alpine and Jackson, Wyoming to see the Melvin facility. I have never heard of Roadhouse Brewing prior to this morning, but I'm sure it's going to be an interesting merger there. So that's our beer news for the day. As always, if you want to check out more details on those stories, you can go to the Breaking Beer News tab on mybeerbuzz.com.
Now we get to the very delicious part, because this is right up my alley here.
This is probably what my dog feels like when I'm holding a treat and I don't let him have it. I'm like listening to beer news and holding a beer and I let him.
Why do you always wait?
Yeah, he waits.
You don't have to wait. I give you the beer.
God, he looks so
Why are you
hurt.
waiting?
Look at his face. He looks so hurt.
How do you sit with that for 5 minutes and not drink it? I'm sorry if this is coming out like an attack, but
Yeah,
it's like,
see,
what are you
he's
doing?
thinking-
Why are you squeezing my arm so hard?
He's the king of wanting. He loves the spontaneity. He likes the rawness of what his reaction will be. So now you're going to sit
So-
up. Let's do the drama.
No, wait, don't drink it yet.
Oh, wait,
What do
now
you-
he's going to tell you.
What do you, like, I just want to know. No, I just want to know, like, what are you waiting for?
I'm waiting so we can do it together as a team.
Yeah, but I already drank mine.
Well, then I think I'm
Aw,
okay.
Jason, I'll do it with you. You
You're
ready?
fine, right? Yeah, you're gonna have some now?
Here we go.
I'm going to have some. You go.
Do you have some for already though?
Should we tell people
No,
what
I
it is, or
didn't, Jason.
do you want? All right, what do you think? What does it smell like? What do you think you're drinking?
I feel like it's gonna have some sort of chocolatey aspect to it, but I don't know if that's the case. But
Chocolate? Smell it again.
It
Smell
doesn't
it.
smell
It
like
smells
that
like your
I
morning
think your sniffer's broken.
cup of Joe.
Oh, I don't have a coffee. Oh, yeah. Oh, coffee. Is it coffee? No, yeah, now I get
Take a
that.
sip for the love of God. He's going to take a look
Yes,
at
now?
Yes,
Okay.
drink it.
God. Every time I say something, he starts talking and puts the cup down.
Yeah, it tastes like coffee. I like that. That's good.
Well,
It's strong,
You
too.
can
It's
tell
got a
by
strong
looking
coffee
at it.
flavor.
It's a very.
it's supposed to taste like coffee. This is a coffee Baltic porter.
Okay.
And it comes to us
Love
from
porters.
Hardywood Park Brewing, and this is Baltic Sunrise, which is it's a porter, strong porter, and it's done with locally roasted coffee beans. So it's supposed to taste like coffee.
What's it called? Baltic what?
It's Baltic Sunrise.
Sunrise. And that's hearty work.
And
Hardywood.
Jason, I'll jump to your defense, Jason. It does use chocolate malt, so there is the sense of chocolate in there as well.
Oh, who's got a good sniffer?
We had Hardywood Park Craft Brewery on the show back in 2014. They opened in 2011. It's an interesting story. They were founded by Eric McKay and Patrick Murtaugh, and they were childhood friends that grew up and vacationed together. And they decided to open a brewery when they were in Australia at what's called a sheep station, which I guess is sort of a sheep
no
farm.
details. No. Oh, okay.
And that and that was called, the sheep station was called Hardywood Park, and so that's where they named their beer after, or their brewery after.
What do you think about the beer,
I had a
Jason?
mouthful of beer when you said
I know,
that's
you
a
all,
good sniffer
that
now.
one, your
We're
sniffer
lucky
got-
we have this plexiglass
I
here
know,
because it was almost a spray
It was
station.
all over the place, yeah.
I think apologies are in order, but I will let them slide and say, no, I like this.
Do you
This is
like
good.
it?
It reminds me of, like, and it's probably nowhere near the same style of beer. One of the first beers I ever drank on a consistent basis was the Yingling Black and Tan, which for some reason in New Jersey is on tap everywhere.
Right.
Except for Pennsylvania, it's
Well, it
not.
was not.
It isn't anymore?
No,
It
it used to be.
But yeah, I like that heavy flavor, like heavy feel to it. I like
Yeah,
that.
Well,
I'm a big porter fan.
How
so
strong
if
do you
like
think this is?
porters-
You want to take a stab at the ABV?
I feel like it's high because I already have a little like I don't drink a lot, so like to me,
Here's why I'm struggling with that is I don't feel like I have a good grasp on a lot of this, but still.
but you
I
have a
can't tell-
great sniffer.
I can't tell if it's the alcohol or the coffee that's so strong. So
Right.
I'm going to say it's probably they're going to probably go low on this because they're going to say the caffeine's going to build you up.
No,
So this is
don't think that.
Okay, then it's a 9.
Don't think.
Take a stab.
I
What do you
mean,
think?
taking a number.
Yeah.
I'll say 10.
Yeah.
It's 9.4.
Oh, I went over. I
Got a good brain over here, too.
Yeah, the brain and the sniffer. Yeah.
It's neck down to a disaster, though.
And 55 IBU. This is actually a fairly hoppy beer. And this one is all about cold. It is cold fermented, cold lager. It uses lager yeast, and the coffee in it comes to us from Richmond's Beatrice Coffee Roasting, and it is cold brewed. So there's a lot of cold going on with this beer.
Yeah, it's yummy.
It's kind of
very
cold now,
nice.
too.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah,
It is-
I like this.
Like I said, I don't usually notice the cans all that much. This one's very it's not over the top, and it's very classy. Like it almost
Yeah.
looks like you'd set it up in like a I don't know. It's nice.
Coffee in a coffee shop.
In a coffee
Yes!
shop. What a good idea. So this is yummy. I love this. If you like porters, you're
Yes.
gonna love this, which is one of my favorites. I could just see sitting by a fire, cold night, hanging out. I think it would be great. But don't go too
say
far unless you have.
Not shoveling snow.
No, I'm not saying that at all. And definitely not something you want to drink if you're, you need a designated driver
Yeah.
if you're anywhere, after having this, because it's pretty heavy duty. But
Available at your place?
yes,
It must
of
be.
course.
Yeah, of
As
course.
always.
I guess.
Right up front.
We'll have it up front.
Yeah, there's always a featured beer place
great.
there right at Sabatini's, so you guys can find it. It's called Baltic Sunrise, and it's from Hardywood Brewing Company. Did I get that right? I want to
You
make
got it.
sure.
That's it, yeah.
Drilled
And
it.
it's fabulous, and it's all brought to you by Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar and Sabatini's Pizza Folks in Exeter. Bill from My Beer Buzz, love the Deer Buzz, and I like the news today. So we'll chat and have a great weekend, okay?
Okay, yeah, have a great weekend. See you next week.
Yep.
All right, see ya.
We shall chat. Okay. And Lindo, anything exciting other than, obviously people coming out for football and all that fun
I don't
stuff?
know why I'm bringing this up, but I woke up to a bad news. We had somebody for some reason wanted to put graffiti on my building. I thought that was outdated since the 90s, but people are graffiti.
But bad graffiti, not artistic.
No, it's terrible graffiti. The guy's got no skill or girl has no skill. It's just like a big red blob of spray paint, right? Why?
That's rough.
That's what I have to go do now. I have to go cover up spray paint.
We're sorry to hear that. That's a
that
real
sucks.
shame. Yeah.
I'm
it
sorry to
is.
hear that.
All right. Well,
Find something else to do. Go get a beer.
let's get everybody out to help out.
Get a job, man.
Get a job.
Yeah.
Are you hiring?
Yeah, anybody wants to cover spray paint, come on down.
The Friday Beer Buzz, powered by Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar in Exeter. The greatest selection of rare craft and imported beers in the area, folks. Growlers and Crowlers, 37 rotating drafts at Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar, Wyoming Avenue in Exeter. The Friday Beer Buzz, bringing good beers and good people together.